it was horrible, wasn't it? This killing is horrible, and it antagonises the enemy. You kill the enemy, antagonises them. But war is war, and that's all there is to it. And Britain does behead people in Britain, and it was used until quite recently for treason, and it still is the punishment for treason. And in fact, in Britain, the only form of execution is legal form of execution is beheading. It's still there when they do it, but they do it outside Buckingham Palace and other places like that, and I believe in Buckingham Palace as well. The tower outside the tower, in most of the tower, in the outside of the tower, and in they do in fact behead people. So it's pretty horrible, but it makes certain the person is dead, which is pretty horrible. And well, when I was in the British Army, one of the things we did by the end of a battle, which lasted for several hours, where the enemy, foreign enemy, were beheaded and counted. They counted their heads, and basically, well, they were mostly dead. That's what it's said. And one of those things. It's pretty bad, but it's hard work being people actually. But so it's not unusual, and although it is horrible, and it shouldn't capture a prisoner which is the I think it was a punishment to America, which won't work. But they have to think about it, because there are American citizens at risk. And unfortunately, this also means as a threat to America itself. It's I don't know what the people in America feel, but it's pretty roughly here too. And well, I've been to a Christian church where they want to kill and burn the mosque, and I don't know what the mosque think about, because I don't think they think in those terms. But when warfare is undertaken, that's what happens. At one time, it was obvious that when a battle is won, it's when all the enemy soldiers are dead. But they do not surrender now and give quarter. That's all they have done. After all, the enemy is outnumbered, and the people who survive want to give up, and then that's surrender. And in some cultures, that means they're really dead because they would have been killed. But so that's part of the culture, but it's not Western culture. Come back to it, but it's horrible. War is horrible, and I was called up into the British Army, and also I was in the American draft as well because I was in America, and then I got transferred to Britain as well. But the war is horrible, and unfortunately, mankind does brave this, and it's. But you know, our ancestors, our primate ancestors were primates, but our ancestors do in fact do the same thing. They have battles, and they kill each other. They have organised warfare, but not as well organised as us, because we've got one of these, which improves the organisation. The industrial warfare is not new. The Romans practiced it, where they had huge armies supported by. And of course, the mechanised warfare is the first sort of thing, and airborne warfare, war everywhere. That was probably when we have courage in space, there'll be warfare in space as well. That's a rich term. And man does it well, different goals in warfare. And, well, unfortunately, people won't compromise, but it's often about original ideology. But it's also about food, fight over food. Basic thing, and of course the Trojan War was about this woman they captured who was supposed to be concentrated, but the problem was that, and there was a fuss about King Priam, but wisdom was right. It's possible she fancied him, but they got angry, and they came in 1,000 ships to. Well, that's how it is. war is war, and men doing goals with it. And, well, we're all now in a state of fear because we don't know when it'll be our turn. Hopefully, a civil war won't come to Britain, but we've already been in this low-level civil war for some time in Britain, and people were being killed in the street, mostly by Christians actually. And I did become a victim. The Bommel has our war protecting me, but called them nice and slide off. But they hit for the head, they destroy the brain. It's an easy way to kill people, go to the brain first, because that destroys the mind, so the person doesn't fight that, so they come actually. But for brain wounds, actually, it's survivable. Sometimes people into the brain to carry on, but it's awful, really, it's awful. War is awful. And people do it. They're called braves, but I don't know. Killing the enemy antagonises them. You know, this bloke in Russia I was captured by decided that he told me that in order to liberate you have to kill you first. In order to have peace you have to have war first. It doesn't appear to be the case. But I think some people do surrender without a fight. And sometimes the people themselves turn against them. Obviously the army is not everybody. But I don't think, I don't know what the most people think about these people in lockdown. But there's awful cruelty goes on in Britain. British burn people alive, and they behead them, they destroy the brain. The usual way of killing somebody in Britain is to destroy the brain, or to cut it off, and it's the same thing. And there's no reason to do it. I'm not going to tell you before, but somebody I knew, and I didn't know her, and I saw an execution of a woman who had done nothing wrong at all. She was just an innocent 18-year-old, and they damaged her brain such a way she could only dance and mess about. We pulled along, generally she was unconscious, and they cut up her brain. So, and it happened in front of me. So Britain does such terrible things as well. So I'm not that impressed by the response about this beheading of the people, but it's pretty awful. I mean, it's an American system. But a girl called Maya, who was just an attractive girl, who was a top student at the university, King's University. She was murdered in front of me by chopping the brain off. I've got a knife in here and cut it totally around, so it's to cut off the front of the brain. And the person just stood there, and she could be trained and moved along. The boss laughed. Oh, it was down to me. Well, he thought it was another lady called Maya, which is somebody else, who was actually on work experience at the time. But this one was brain damage in front of her, so she was actually killed. And he said, "We've been over now." So it will happen to you if you don't cooperate. So that's Britain. So I'm really proud of this. It's just a savage. The British. I don't know what. I think he was a Catholic or something, but I think he said he did it because he wants to do nice things in engineering. Well, that's a pretty good, a high ideal. Because when she got older, she worked for money, but they said, work for money, money, must work for money. You work for money. That's all you could think about. And the Christians have got that. I don't know where they got it from. It actually comes, well, Paul said it, he was actually, if you read the Bible, it's obvious that Paul the impostor, as I call him, was actually Saul. And if you read the Bible again, you find Saul was one of the soldiers who crucified Jesus, so it was the same man. So he was there to kill everybody and destroy the religion, because it was against Rome and the rest of it. So that's politics. And so they murdered a good man. A lot of good men do get murdered. Well, they do. People attack me. Well, I'm not particularly good, but they attack me. I don't know why. And they were jeering, jeering. Oh, awful. What can you do when somebody attacks you? You can't do anything, can you? Nothing. Except fight back. And the police won't help you, too far away. And if a phone's out of order, or you haven't got a phone, you can't call them. Somebody, even so, they take somebody's call around to arrive. And they make a noise too, so they get warned off. But they use drugs and all sorts of things. It's not. It's Christians do the same things. And basically, Christians are just as bad. And well, man can do awful things to each other. Man's the most cruel animal on the planet. But other animals play around with their prey with what they kill cats do. Want to catch it all the time, so they kill it and eat it. We don't. Well, I think when you're very angry, you do tend to eat your enemies, but it's not very often. People tend not to eat other people, but they can do. And I think, well, they do. That's what it's, and some men will eat another man because he's hungry. Well, we're prevented. Normally we're not only socially prevented, but instinctively we have this instinct of recognising another man as a man. We don't tend to eat them, but can do. And one of my contacts, who was called Len, he ate people. And he would strangle them or drug them, or something. He strangled them. And then in conversations, so they got confused and stopped working, spirits down to the brain. They strangled them, and then a couple of them and have them for dinner. Obviously couldn't do all of it. I mean, the arms got a lot fresher than arm, but I caught him at it. And he wasn't ready to eat me yet, so I was able to go. But well, that's where he was. And he was a Catholic Monsignor, so I don't know what all Catholic Monsignors eat people, but it is something. And they got this idea of the aliens will eat each other, The father of psychiatry, who was a Christian, he thought people should eat each other. He called them. I don't know who he was, what he thought they were. But he was, I think he was one of the aristocrats or rather something, but as far as he concerned, anybody else could be eaten. And so in that way for each other. It's awful, man. You find out these awful men, and when you're a child, you don't even think about it. Well, you read about it, but you think it's just a story, but it's true. And well, it's we're in the jungle all the time. Because when you read the stories about when people contacted tribes in Africa. Well, we were once a tribe in Africa ourselves, and they found that one village would sometimes eat another man from another village because he was a foreigner. And they didn't eat him very often, but they did. It was luxury. And didn't think anything of it. Oh, it's a foreigner. Let's eat him. But in Britain, foreigners are not well treated. And eventually they become British. The children they become British. Of course, they marry a British person, then they become British. But they're very unpopular. No reason for it. They're people. And foreign countries tend to, Europe they tend to be together. So we're recognised as another person. But I don't know. Some people still remember the Second World War, because this is their fathers or grandfathers, but they still remember it. And there's no reason for it. Sickness. You see, if you don't forgive your enemies, the war goes on forever. You don't want to do that. The Christians, Jesus taught us to forgive our enemies. That means, you're probably in defeat, or possibly after the war's over, we tend to make it up. But that's not what's happening. The Jews do not have that culture in their culture. Forgiveness is not in the Jewish culture. You've got to carry on killing till you're dead. And the same with the Muslims, they also don't have forgiveness. So that means war sharing or whatever. Well, in fact, you can see it in there. I think they do forgive people. But when it's strictly the communists had this idea that you could forgive people, but some kinds are unforgivable. So they kill them. But what do you think? And we're all going to die, so why do we fight? But I suppose to some extent it's part of the selection, pressure, and evolution. And with many, they fight with money and stuff. And I've had my money stolen, and court orders and things as well as pay things on the paper and the news. And this, of course, is all fighting. But And so with some people who use other people to the fighting, or they write a letter, or they, and I've had letters written to the paper, not by me, but appear to come from me, which causes other people to attack me. It's awful. I mean, they're clever people, but they're nasty, clever in a nasty way. And it's a gene. And if you, the psychiatrist directly into the brain to turn people like that, you have to be quite, to be wise, to be, what's the word, altruistic and care about other people. You have to be quite clever. But so they damage the brain to stop altruism, which is a new evolutionary thing, which holds civilization together. They make holes up here somewhere. They do. They cut holes in the brain, and that turns there. And they do it to staff. You've got to get a job. First, they damage the brain to make you cruel. So you hurt the patients. Now, patients are mostly people most of them are non-Christians. They actually attack people who are putting there because they're non-Christians. Sometimes they commit a crime, but most people do. Some criminals, but mostly it's for religious reasons. And people who say their husbands are narcissists get burned alive. It's absolutely awful. That's what I found out. They laugh on. It's a sickness to laugh. And all these murders, I think the Catholics did all of them. The Catholics were responsible for the murder of a Jew anyway. Before somebody else. And the Jews are quite nice people, if you just know. And they're people. They're human beings. They care about each other. And really, they don't like killing their enemies. They don't like it. But I don't really think the Muslims or the Palestinians like killing the Jews either. But that goes against the grain. But when you're from a mission, you can't see the people who killed, can you? So it's just a joke, but it's all theory till us returning shell comes and blows you up. So what they're doing, I don't know what they're doing. But the wrong thing to do. And there was an opportunity for peace, and they won't take it. I don't know why. They don't believe in each other, they don't trust each other. And there's no way around it. And I can't take sides. And well, one of those things. And we're facing another war. I don't know. It's going to be a real mystery. It is. Because we don't know what side. People will form allies. And Britain could become a Muslim country because there's a lot of Muslims in this country. And it could happen. So that would make things different. But we tend to, the Americans and British drag each other into their wars. Britain tends to get America to fight their wars. But well, anyway. So the British regard America as a very good economy, and they want them back, so they get to fight their wars for them. Pretty awful. And I feel pretty sick actually, pretty unhappy, pretty sad. My wife's not here. I don't know whether that makes a difference or not. I don't know. But when I asked her, she was really the best trying to find a passage to random. I don't know where she's gone or not. I just sent her £10 to bill with me, but they can be poor. I know a capital priority out there is offered her a job, so says there would be a job for her, but I see she's got somebody else in there now, so maybe it won't do it. So I mean, hard-nosed businessman, he'll take, but it would be because she's a bit too early. But she's quite clever, but she's being scrambled by the people traffickers, you know. And an awful lot of people are injured by it. And they're sick people because all they want is money. And they get obsessed with it. And they get obsessed with sex as well. They're really sick people. Well, I won't say anything about their religion. It's true. I mean, the Bible says women are men's chattel, and other people take that up. But women should be treated properly, and they want things as well. They want things. They have lives, and they expect men to get them. And that's right. Man's provider. Well, I'm quite poor. I was quite well off at one time, but what happened to me, I don't know, but it's gone. And basically, I've got no getting it back up. I put my affairs in the hands of a deputy, and they certainly think they acted for themselves. But I think they're being controlled by the death camp I was in. They thought that mistakenly they got a false charge. Well, I would have done it before if they couldn't. It was false. Their jobs depend on it, you see, basically. They talk about the reputation of the hospital, but it's a death camp. It's a death camp. They murder people. Well, that's one of the things. And they don't benefit anybody. People go there. Some people come up, most are tranquilizers, whatever. Because it's actually done for heresy. It's a place is set up to attack basically people who are not Muslims, actually. They don't realise they're Muslims, but they are, because I know what the Muslims believe. I didn't know before. And it is what I believe, and that's why I was put in hospital for. There are some that say the whole religion is nonsense. Well, Christianity is. It's a lie, it's just like the Bible is a lie. Unfortunately, it's just made up. And the priests make it up all the time. And they're cruel, like they're just dependent. They're in for themselves. Nobody else. Well, not everybody else, but they pretend to care, but they don't that for they care. They care. They look after their own souls, so to speak. And it's a sickness, you know. Sickness. Horrible place. And, pretty upset. Pretty upset. What was happened? Lost most of my life because of Christianity and Christian attacks. Well, I criticised them, didn't I? I didn't believe it. I did at first, you know. But always, yeah. It's true. I didn't like it. Anyway, I heard from a friend of mine that the Muslims sided with Hitler during the Second World War. That's about a contention too. They did bad things as well. Well, it was pretty bad, but I gather he was brain damaged by the British, probably very badly. But that's what happened. I was told that Hitler himself was so bad he no longer took part. But they got somebody else to thrash Germany up. They're clever. The people in power in Britain are clever. And it's not the elected people, but they're clever too. But the ordinary people are often drugged or brain damaged, but they just believe what they're told, and they get very patriotic about it. But if you meet them, people in power, they're very cruel. They don't care, and they do care about each other to some extent. We've got the motto is "Blood is thicker than water," which means that they care for home, and but that's bad. It's bad. The whole situation is bad. Well, quite frightened actually, but that's life so far. But I'm an old man, and I could die any time of what's wrong with me. I'm taking steps. I'm reducing my weight, which will reduce my blood pressure as well. But it won't increase my length of life because we have a timeout. Whatever we do, the telomeres run out, and my skin is starting to fall. You can see that the skin is starting to fall. But what happens when the telomeres run out? The cells stop dividing and you die. And cells die and you die. That's what it is to actually just fall away, fall apart. And that's inherited, it's built in, and it's part of evolution. If we live forever, there'll be change. We wouldn't be here. We'd whatever animal started. But animals are immortal, and they don't get anywhere because there's no purpose of mortality. If the human race to progress, we have to die, and then new people to replace us. And unfortunately, we want to live forever, but we can't. It's basic biology. If we did live forever, the people who live forever would still be living in the year they lived. They started, and so they wouldn't progress. And the aliens believe that they have been told by the aliens that when an alien grows old, it's a new body made for him from his cells, and then they somehow project the mind of the assigned to the new person somehow, to some stage. So I doubt that's done, but that's what they say. And of course, aliens with electronic brains don't have this problem, because they can be reprogrammed and adapt. So it is possible. Things are different now. Anyway, I'm not talk too much. No. Rather sad. We're unhappy, really. We're unhappy. Sad world. No. I didn't watch the video of the man who beheaded. I wouldn't want to. But well, they hang out of his hand, didn't they? No different. And well, that's what I was saying was a murderer. Well, you know, people regard the Americans as murderers because they've used these class weapons to kill them. So it's the enemy. But I don't justify what they did by that. But it's antagonising Americans still further. That's not a good idea. So they'll probably shorten the war by killing more of the people that are trying to suggest what is no mistake. Well, if it was set up peacefully, it would work, but these warfare methods don't work because the people get killed and they oppose them. That's why. So warfare is the wrong way to go about it. And it's most successful empires done by peaceful acquisition. It's this war gene that we've inherited that causes us to fight. And the priesthood, well, this Christian priesthood, tend to encourage warfare because there's money in it, you know. And you get sort of, you know, make rousing speeches and make money. They do, making money. Good thing. Of course, the priesthood as well. A lot of people do. And of course, if we show a problem with food supplies because of the way they're breaking down civilization, they destroy science if there's shortage of food supplies, and there'll be no electricity, so it'll disappear. Work for a while, it'll stop. That's why we won't understand it. But somebody does, people do have to understand these things. That's what ecologists will keep the thing going. And the priests won't destroy all that, because their income is affected. And if they succeed, and all the scientists die, and of course they do die, I don't think they're killing that. I'm told that 200 scientists have been murdered, because they're scientists, by Christians. And so that's what's going on. It's awful. It's stupid because it's drug civilization, which they helped to set up. And the Pope actually thinks like that. I've been told that because they start worshipping science, they use science instead of religion. Because it's all rubbish. Religion is all rubbish. Basically, all Christian religion is rubbish. And the Muslim religion is a tradition of survival. And the Jews are about just history. It's not really a religion at all. It's history. It's all history. That's what I like. But the Christians want to destroy civilization so that when this destruction takes place, the people will die in large numbers, which will cut down energy supply, energy requirements, and the priests will live rich and have the ordinary people as servants. You know, they're already talking about it. Slaves as well, slave markets, and people carrying priests about. And the leaders on these poles, and yeah. Well, you remember in British history, you read about people beheaded and their heads being put out on the railings outside the palace, wherever it was, Westminster Palace it was, or Buckingham Palace, well, not so much so, but that's what they do. I don't think to display them now, but they still behead people. Yeah. There's no difference. We're all the same. We're all just as nasty. In America, have the electric chair and old gunshots and things, but we're all just as nasty, basically. Charlie shoots you in the head. And Britain take the brain out. That's pretty civilized, because you've still got the body to play with, so they can send the body back to the relatives and no sex with it, but that's it. And they make noises. They can grow to have children, but they're dead. So, a pretty awful society. Pretty awful society. Man is the most cruel and horrible animal that ever existed, you know. But mind you, other animals eat each other. I mean, dragonflies don't dragonfly. They don't think, well, it's just a prey. So in the animal kingdom, we're really just slightly above the animal kingdom, just slightly. We're very similar. And this near civilization, we call civilized nation, is living in cities, so we tend to keep the peace, but don't keep to kill each other. But just going to break down. The man across the road from me attacked me and he tried to kill me. And there's no reason for it. I hadn't antagonised him. I wasn't fighting him. He just attacked me suddenly. He did it several times. And so did I. I don't know why. And he missed a lot of slots for it is. And I don't know what to do. He's still there. And he could attack me again. And I actually, if I had the money, I might get a special bolt on the door. It makes it more difficult to open it. You can't get, but you can still break the door down. I'll break a window and pretend it was on. But I did have a locking bolt on the door. It did keep it out, but he made such a fuss about it. It took it off. So yeah, I don't think I've got that. I do have a locking bolt, I think, but I think I still got it. I could put it back. I don't have a chisel in here. I've got a chisel to go locking bolt on the door. I've got a slot. And that's how bad it is. And well, that won't keep them out. I mean, Northern Ireland, they put bars across the doors and stuff like that, and people killed each other. It shoots you through the door. Because there's a big window on my door, and I can see the people coming. But if they saw me before, well, if they come with a gun, they can shoot me through the window. No problem at all. And that's what happened in Northern Ireland. Pretty awful. And I don't know why they fought each other or something, but I didn't understand the politics, but it's to do with Irish independence. So it's always the same. British got around here to see property for about 100 years, and they invaded and hanged people and shot people and so on. So we're no different. We're no better. We set ourselves up, we civilised it, and now we're quite well off because of the captured territory that we get food from. They're quite a good place to live. But it's quite peaceful, but peace at a price. And, it's a terrible price. Anyway, it's nice living in England. But, one time I was proud to be British, but I'm not so proud now. So, it's even worse in other countries. Even worse, and they're proud to be countrymen of their own countries too. But, we used to think about world order, global civilizations, and I think the internet will bring that. The actual communication will bring that. People understand each other. I tend to talk as common language, or not hasn't happened yet. And the fish in the ear in the film is Chinese guys at the gates. They've got idea to understand people language. It's not come yet, but it's possible because it depends on speed of the computer. You can translate speech. It takes a long time, but if that was fixed, you could put it well easily in the ear. You hear it in English or languages, right? And then we're talking about it is more difficult, but we just understand it. Oh, it's possible they can reprogram the brain and you can learn that language. It doesn't take that long because you go to that country, everybody's talking a foreign language, and eventually you work out what the sounds relate to. Because abstract thought is very difficult, but ordinary things, and you sort of build it up. That's what children do, and you can do that all your life. It takes the same time. It takes a long time for a child to learn language, and adults take the same time. And some people don't get that far. And they always speak with English accent. But depends where you learn it. If you learn, I mean, if you hear foreigners speak English, that is excellent. The person who gave me a lecture at Belgrade was excellent English, absolutely perfectly. Of course, he might be talking Russian because I hear Russian English, I think it was English. And so she was clear as anything, so it's perfectly excellent. And I noticed the people who learn it like that do have, and some of them sound like electronic music, electronic speech, could get off the record. Anyway, so it's one of those things. And it should be all one planet, one nation, really. But it's difficult because it's been a long time before human race becomes just even more civilized it is now. It is progressing, and hopefully it will happen. But after my lifetime, and 71, you could die any time, and my relatives die about my age. All my relatives, ancestors, relatives who died about 72, 73, 74. 80, right now. So that's how I really was. I'm not slim, very slim. And you know, the life tables, you look at them, it's very depressing. I'd probably get a good annuity at this age, because it would live very long. Anyway, but I wouldn't even do that. Couldn't have that. They stole my money. I don't know what I used it for. But makes a difference when you're married, because you can pass on whatever you have to your children. I have an heir now. Makes a difference. My wife hasn't arrived yet. I'm married in that country. And well, we seem to feel it here, but just makes a difference. Having a wife makes a huge difference. I think my cousin calls it a cure for love. Yes, so yes, I want to do is stay alive. And that's been difficult for her. I'm saying it wasn't to send her money. I did go and see what was going on in where she lived, but it was very difficult. And I found her living on the street, and so I couldn't help her. But I should have sent money, and she could have helped herself. That's hindsight. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, well, yeah. They say sickness of the mind, but the mind is governed by things in the body. And so some people have injuries to the brain, so I see that. Lenin, for example, was shot, and Stalin was shot, and that affected his brain. Not that he was paranoid about being shot, but it alters his mind and turned him into a cruel man. And I'm quite sure which Russian dictator it was. But sad story, sad world. And then we die. Well, what's the point? 100 years' time, we'll be dead, and I'll be next drive to you if we've got one, and so what's the point of fighting? Of course, this bloke, of course, I disagree, I'll be him. Well, as I say, he's deluded himself, just like it. And I think he wants to meet his dead wife in heaven. He found he died of childbirth. But so very upset. And people who believe that don't like being told they're going to die, because they will. And there's no future in it. So I think that's why they destroyed the Gnostic Church. There's no future in it. There's no mortality, there's no money in it either. So that's where it is. But people cling on to these ideas. We've all got them. We all have, you find a way of being immortal. Sad world. And this, as I say, the total sense of evil of death, it certainly is, but his solution is to lie, so you're not going to die. Whereas most of your children, you do actually do that. Well, people exploit this to make money out of death, and that's the fear of death. And they start studying it and become sick themselves. They call priests. Religion business, Follow me and make you walking. Jesus didn't say that. I don't think so. He must have done. I'm sure. But and if you pay the priest, he makes you walk. That's the idea. You go to church. It's a Christian idea. You pay money to the church. That buys a seat to heaven, a trip to heaven, so to speak. Well, they might give you a grave. And they talk about rending of the tomb and the graves opening and the dead coming out. When you look at the grave, there's no dead there. It's just dust. Which has upset people, so it's all a lie. And don't mind. Let's shut up. Very depressing. Death is depressing. So let's go all our lives. Jesus actually said, yes, you're going to die, but have your life first and have a good time. And don't hurt other people. That's the message. And that's the message of Scientology too. So, and I don't know the Jews are the same. Is that similar? Basically. So the Christians have harp on these ideas, these sick ideas of staying alive forever. You don't. You go to church. I think if you have communion, that somehow makes you immortal. At least drinking wine makes you immortal, basically. Well, they talk about the host, the bread is the host, that's where Jesus is. So if you eat the host, you get Jesus in you. And that's the idea. In fact, the Bible says, do this in remembrance of me, so they're just remembering him. They can do everything, maybe that's all right. Remember, good bloke. It's gone now. Of course, the Gnostics, we went to a star in the sky and came back. I think that's what the Muslims believe too. He went to a star in the sky. And, but he won't come. He says himself, he's not coming back. He'll never return. So that's one of those things. You can't agree with it. So that's the truth. And, contact has to be made, so we say. Nobody believes me, I don't care. Just shrivel my face to stop being an actor. It doesn't stop me being an actor. Or being pleasant to people. It doesn't stop anything really, it's just a narcissist guy. All those things. And it could be fixed by painting on it, you know, make it disappear. Get pencils, a lot of wipes over it. Get it from the Red Cross, and they do match it. I did try to go to the clinic, but they threw me out, so angry they threw me out. Because the law, I was scarred after I was on a court order, who did it. So they thought, the judge said I should be scarred. I don't know why, not because I've done anything for leaving a civil religion. They're going to hang me, you know, because I leave a civil religion. That's what the war, Second War was about. They fought a war over it, killed Hitler, for the Melania especially. Anyway, so Britain is a very nice place to live when people are peaceful, but it's got a hidden evil, and you can't crop it here. But it's even worse in other countries, being the start. Europe is hungry. I think it's because they're left-wing socialists, but the things are sort of themselves. They do food, but they don't eat so well as the British. I can go down and get a steak, beef, roast beef for dinner for a reasonable price, about £5, €5, whereas in France it's €25. And it's a steak and chips. Well, that would cost about £10, about £5 for here too. So that's the difference. I don't know why. It's probably because the food supply is buttoned up. And I know where it comes from. I've studied it. That's human geography. And people do study it. But it's socialism, socialism. It's the left-wing, it's the communists. Their philosophy didn't work. And I think in Russia they've given it up. But in Eastern Europe, they're still socialists. And Engels and Marx are still being taught, and they believe it. And so they work on it when I'm brought up to that. And because they brought up, they get very nice as well. They believe in euthanasia, killing the weak. But it hasn't made them strong. Hasn't made them better off. And the weak still appear. You know, they talk about genetics where a lot of people are sick because of non-inherited problems, mostly infections or so on. But the inheritance is important, and we are what fathers are. But I think this country they kill old lines, you know, for the wrong reasons. So all the same, euthanasia is practiced in most countries, but not all of them. Sick babies. But I think the law is you don't smash or not kill, but you don't have to struggle to keep alive. It's right to keep alive, but that's special it is. But people sort of survive. Now, the weak do survive, and surprised that the weak are not as weak as they thought they were, but they're not weak. That's what they found. I think the Jews have the same idea. And I think it was this psychiatrist, this head of psychiatry, who thought the weak should die, but he found the weak weren't weak. So, shoot all the psychiatrists, because they're criminals, they're murdering us. It's not just them, the Christians are murdering us too, but all of them. They're Christians and Christians, and they're led by the priesthood. The priesthood are the criminals. But you can't shoot priests, that's not right. But the priesthood is the cause of the trouble. It's so complicated now. And because I'm undergoing a paradigm shift because I turned away from church, I was always against it. I did believe one time, but it's so confusing, you know. You suffer a sudden conversion. You realise what you've been taught all your life is not true, and you then realise what you find that the people you've joined, what you believe in, or believe what they believe in life. So it makes a difference. And, it's a sad world. And, sad. And come knocking on the door by me. When they do, there's these only nurses come to their house and give pills. Pills. That's really took your brain off, and took your head off. But there's a section you'll do inside if you don't take the pills. But it's the pills that make you ill. They slow you down and make you stupid and stop you understanding things. Not good for you. It's only a shade of difference because and they seem to break you in other ways as well, like skin age and all sorts of things. And they kill you. Some of them are so bad that they cause death of cells. And some of them just kill you for a period of time and kill the gut and let it die. I've heard all these things. And, so the doctors just laugh at that, you know. So, and I think there was one bloke in the hospital who had his brain removed, upon his brain removed, and he was being after. I'm not quite sure what it was now, but one of those things. It's a joke. And, savages, very cruel savages. I mean, some of the people they injured, it meant the best for everybody. Want to do good things. But that's not how I do good things, go away money. And when I was young, I had quite a lot of money because I'm debt, and I was getting some my way. And so we can't give money away, you've got to make a profit. So I got down to making giving things away. So I took all my money. And they still laugh at me, they jeer at me. You know. It's a joke, you know, give his money away. I think you all do it away. But now I've taken a lot. So that's Britain for you. Now these laws, and it's unpleasant. And they didn't like me doing things myself because you have to work for one of them for money. And that's their system. And that's how bad it is. So it's slavery. It's actually quite unpleasant in some ways. Of course, it's free money, it's free food, good food, so housing is good. But you could lose it. And they don't like me. I don't mind. They don't like me because of what I say. I'm not done anything. They don't like me because of what I say. They're being told they don't die. And of course they do die. And so will I. So what's the point?